This is the first video for section 3.1 on identification numbers. In this lecture, I'll be talking about format and validity. So what is an identification number? Well, also called an ID number, it's just a sequence of letters and or numbers that identifies an object, person, place, or concept. So we're going to use the blanket term ID number, even though those ID numbers can actually have letters or symbols in them. But the number should be unambiguous. There should never be two different things that have the same ID number. So where have you encountered ID numbers before in your life? Well, you may have seen them in one of these many places. License plates are ID numbers, driver's license, student IDs, social security numbers, phone numbers, credit card numbers. ISBN is a numerical code that exists on the back of every book that you have. And a UPC, Universal Product Code, is the barcode and numbers that you see on the back of products at the grocery store. So are these numbers random? They might look random when you look at them. It just looks like this weird sequence of digits. But what happens if you would go to, let's say, a shopping website and type in something random when it asks you for a credit card number? Think about what should happen, right? What do you want to happen in that kind of situation if you just typed in something random? Well, how would the computer know that the random thing that you typed in isn't actually valid? Well, there's some quick ways that it might be able to tell. You might have typed in some letters or symbols instead of all numbers. One of the things we know is that credit card numbers have to be all digits. And you didn't type in 16 digits. In fact, credit card numbers always have to be 16 digits long. So if you didn't type in a 16-digit number, it would know immediately that what you typed in was not a credit card number. So that's talking about the format of the ID number. So a credit card number has a format that is 16 numerical digits long. And you might be familiar with some other formats. Pennsylvania license plates have a format of 3 letters followed by 4 digits, generally. Social security numbers are 9 digits long. Phone numbers are 10 digits long if you include the area code. So these are formats where if you have a number that doesn't follow that format, you immediately know that it cannot be the correct number for that object. So what happens if you type in a number with the correct format? Again, let's go back to our shopping website. So now you're going to type in something random, but you're going to make sure that it's the right format. It's going to be 16 numerical digits long. Well, what should the computer do in that case? It can't immediately tell that what you typed in might not be a real credit card number. So should the computer have to look through the billions of credit card numbers in the world to make sure that the thing you typed in isn't actually on that list? Even with fast modern computers, this would just take way, way, way too long. So an ID number is correct if it is the real actual number that corresponds to the object, person, place, or concept that we're talking about. And an ID number is valid if it follows the rules for how the number should be constructed. And that includes the idea of format, but there also may be other rules. So all correct ID numbers are valid. You have to be a valid ID number to be the correct one that corresponds to the real thing. But not all valid numbers are correct. So again, getting back to our idea of the shopping website, even if you typed in a 16-digit number that follows the format of the credit card, there may be other rules, and we're actually going to learn about one of those rules later, but other rules that that credit card number has to follow in order to be valid. That doesn't necessarily guarantee that it's still the correct credit card number, but there are other rules that we'll have to follow. So this is what we're going to be talking about a lot in this unit. So in addition to the format, most ID numbers do have these other rules that have to be followed in order to be valid. And it's not just for security, but it's also to detect errors. So again, thinking about our shopping website, if instead of just trying to sort of cheat the system and type in something random, what if you're typing in your honest to goodness credit card number, but you just flub it, right? You just, mess it up and don't type it in correctly. We want the computer to be able to tell that as well. And some of you may have encountered this. If you've done any online shopping, you may have encountered situations where when you went to type in your credit card number, you messed it up, and immediately the computer was able to say, hey, wait a second, that's not your credit card number. And the way it's able to do that is because there are these systems that we're going to be learning about for how to check the validity of the number you typed in. So next time we're going to start talking about some of the different kinds of errors that can be made. So again, the idea of if I'm going to type in my credit card number or whatever ID number we're talking about, and if I make a mistake, what are the kinds of common mistakes that can be made that we want our system to be able to catch? And we're also going to start talking about some simple ways that we can catch those errors.